Good morning, live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Trump tells Israel to immediately stop bombing after Hamas agrees to release Israeli hostages, also ready to negotiate on other points of Gaza peace plan. US government shutdown to stretch into next week after senators reject the funding bill fourth time. Trump freezes funds for Democratic areas, threatens more federal job cuts. In a landmark initiative for youth development, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unveil various youth-focused initiatives to also lay foundation stone for new academic and research facilities in universities of Bihar. And in sports, the day of Ahmedabad test today, India at 448 for 5 at stumps on day 2 against West Indies, extends lead to 286 runs. The US government shutdown has entered its second week due to a stalemate in the Senate. Both Democratic and Republican proposals failed to reach the required 60-vote threshold, with the Republican-led proposal getting 54 votes and the Democrat-led proposal getting 45 votes. Friday's vote on a short-term fix was the last chance of the week to end the crisis, as session will now meet next week. If the shutdown stretches past Monday, it will become the fourth longest in the US history. The longest shutdown lasted 35 days in 2018-19 during Donald Trump's first term in office. Meanwhile, both sides have continued to blame one another for the shutdown, with little sign of any progress in negotiations.
Asked Republican leaders for months to sit down and talk with us. They've refused and barreled us into a shutdown. They thought they could bludgeon us and threaten us and scare us. It ain't working, because my caucus and Democrats are adamant that we must protect the health care of the American people. And so now, rather than working with us to end the pain Americans are feeling because of a shutdown, Republicans have instead, they've wasted a week, refused to talk, and exacerbated pain for America. Instead of trying to come to the table and negotiate with Democrats and reopen the government, the White House and fellow Republicans have vowed to make this a maximum pain shutdown, they call it. Unfortunately, the maximum pain falls on the American people, and the American people know it. They know it's not Democrats doing this maximum pain. It's Vote and Trump and the Republicans.
When the Republicans are not behaving responsibly, they're not behaving in a serious manner. They don't want to reopen the government, and they certainly do not want to address the health care crisis that Republicans have created.
Now, at the center of the standoff is a Democratic demand for an extension of health care subsidies that are due to expire, meaning sharply increased costs for millions of low-income Americans. Republicans, who control the legislature and the White House but need Democratic votes on government funding bills, have announced no plans to address the issue. US President Donald Trump's administration froze $2.1 billion in Chicago transit funding on Friday, starving another Democratic city of funds as a bid to end the government shutdown failed again in the Senate. During a news briefing at the White House, Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt accused Democrats of holding Americans hostage over their demands. The US Treasury is considering making a $1 coin featuring President Donald Trump to commemorate 250 years since the declaration of American independence in 2026. Images of potential design shows Trump holding a raised clenched fist on one side of the coin, alongside the words "fight, fight, fight," a reference to what he said immediately after surviving an assassination attempt last year. The other side of the coin shows Trump in profile with the word liberty above him and 1776 to 2026 written below. According to images shared by Treasurer Brandon Beach on X, the Treasury sponsored a national competition and picked for the $1 coin, a design by sculptor student featuring Liberty Bell, a symbol of American independence, and the moon to mark the 1976 bicentennial celebrations. US President Donald Trump told Israel on Friday to immediately stop bombing Gaza after Hamas agreed to release hostages and some other terms in the American plan to end the conflict. However, troubling issues like disarmament appeared unresolved. Trump's peace plan, endorsed by Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, demands Hamas's disarmament and excludes the group from Gaza's governance, proposing a technocratic body under Trump's oversight. Hamas has agreed to transfer power, although it seeks a role in Gaza's future. Qatar, Egypt and United Nations praised the move. World leaders welcomed Hamas's agreement to parts of US President Trump's Gaza peace plan, urging a ceasefire, hostage release and humanitarian aid. The UN, UK, France, Germany, Italy, Australia and Turkey have praised the progress, along with Israel's opposition leader, who has also backed the negotiations. However, amidst all these developments, senior Hamas officials Musa Abu Marzouk told a news channel in an exclusive interview on Friday that the group would not disarm before the Israeli occupation ends. Meanwhile, in a latest update, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's office has announced on Saturday that Israel is ready to implement the first phase of President Donald Trump's peace plan to secure the release of Israeli hostages in Gaza, following Hamas's agreement to engage in peace talks. In other news, the head of the UN's nuclear watchdog, Rafael Grossi, called on Ukraine and Russia to show the political will needed to ensure safety around the Russian-controlled Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant on Friday to allow the reconnection of its external power line. The plant has been without external power for the 10th time since September 23rd, relying on emergency diesel generators to cool reactors fuel as it no longer produces electricity. Grossi stressed the urgent need to restore external power, but security risks prevent technicians from making repairs. Both Russia and Ukraine blame each other for endangering nuclear safety. The plant was seized by Russian forces in early weeks of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. In a stark warning amid escalating tensions, Russian President Vladimir Putin declared on Thursday that Moscow is prepared to respond decisively to NATO's support for Ukraine, particularly long-range missile supplies, which he said would severely damage ties and risk dangerous escalation. Speaking at the Valdai Forum in Sochi, Putin dismissed fears of Russian attacks on NATO as nonsense, mocked the alliance as a potential paper tiger, while denying involvement in recent drone incursions over Poland, Denmark, Estonia and Romania. Hours later, fresh sightings of unidentified drones over Danish and Norwegian military bases heightened alarms, with Ukraine's Zelensky accusing Moscow of testing Europe's defenses. NATO launched Eastern Sentry to bolster eastern flank security as European leaders in Copenhagen vowed to unified deterrence against Russian hybrid threats. For the seventh day on Friday, Moroccan youth continued protesting in Casablanca following Prime Minister Aziz Akanouch's statement expressing willingness to engage in dialogue with youth movement. He acknowledged their demands and emphasized the government's openness to discussion. The protests, initially driven by calls for improved education and healthcare, have escalated into riots across the country, resulting in hundreds of arrests and injuries. Violence peaked on October 1st when 3 youth were shot dead by security forces during an attack on a police station in Laklia. The authorities said the group tried to steal weapons. The anonymous youth group Gen Z 212 is organizing protests via social media and has condemned violence, urging peaceful demonstrations in major cities. Sean Diddy Combs has been sentenced to more than 4 years in prison over his conviction on prostitution-related charges, with the judge rebuking the hip-hop mogul for subjecting 2 former partners to years of abuse. Diddy had faced up to 20 years in prison, at least 10 years on each count of which he was convicted. The jury acquitted him on the more serious charges of racketeering and sex trafficking, which could have earned him a life sentence. Despite his acquittal on these charges, Judge Arun Subramanian, who sentenced Diddy, said a significant sentence was justified given the harm Combs had caused to his former partners, Ventura and Jane. His lawyer suggests Diddy could be released in less than 3 years after receiving credit for the time that he has already spent locked up at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn since his 2024 16th of September arrest. Munich airport was forced to halt operations for the second day in a row on Friday over drone sightings, with dozens of flights and more than 6,000 passengers affected. Munich airport stated German air traffic control restricted flight operations at the airport as precautionary measure due to unconfirmed drone sightings and suspended them until further notice. Spokesperson for the airport police said both of Munich's 2 runways were closed. 46 departures from the airport were cancelled or delayed until Saturday. Airports in Denmark, Norway and Poland have halted flights due to unidentified drones. Recent drone sightings have disrupted European aviation, with some blaming Russia, which the Kremlin denies. Mid-autumn lantern markets in Vietnam are abuzz with both tradition and trend, with variety of different traditional designs. New models inspired by animated characters, social media favorites are winning the attention of younger crowds. Crafted with bamboo frames and colored paper, these lanterns preserve cultural heritage while adapting to modern taste, creating a festive blend of the old and the new. Fans flocked to the cinemas in the suburbs of Washington, D.C. for the official release party of A Showgirl, a special screening celebrating Taylor Swift's newly released studio album, Life of a Showgirl. Excited Swifties cheered, sang along, and shared how the singer's music has shaped their lives, marking this latest release as the beginning of a new era with their idol. Vietnam is turning plastic waste into energy for cement kilns, cutting coal use and emissions while preventing ocean pollution. Experts and authorities highlight co-processing as an efficient, safe and scalable solution, positioning it as key green strategy under the country's net zero ambitions. Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Election Commission of India is visiting Patna to review poll preparedness in Bihar. World Para Athletics Championship 2025, India's high jumper Nishad wins gold. And World Animal Welfare Day being observed with the theme Save Animals, Save the Planet.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. In a major push for India's youth empowerment, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will unveil initiatives exceeding 62,000 crore rupees on Saturday at Vigyan Bhavan in New Delhi, focusing on skilling, education and entrepreneurship. Key launches include the 60,000 crore rupees PM Setu scheme to upgrade 1,000 ITIs nationwide and 1,200 vocational labs in schools, the Jan Nayak Karpuri Thakur Skilled University, Bihar Yuva Ayog for 18 to 45 years old, and a revamped scheme offering 1,000 monthly to 5 lakhs graduates will also be inaugurated in the state of Bihar. PM Modi will also lay the foundation stones for PM Usha facilities at 4 Bihar universities worth 160 crore rupees, benefiting 27,000 students. The NIT partners Beta campus will also be dedicated, along with the distribution of 4,000 Bihar government job letters and release of Rs 450 crore scholarships to 25 lakh students via direct benefit transfer. The event features 4th national scale convocation, felicitating 46 ITI toppers, aiming to harness Bihar's youth as a skilling hub. Chief Election Commissioner Gyanesh Kumar and Election Commissioner Vivek Joshi and SS Sandhu will visit Patna for 2 days beginning from today to review the poll preparedness in the state of Bihar. According to the officials, the term of the 243-member Bihar Assembly ends on November 22nd. Polls in the state are likely to be held in multiple phases beginning the end of this month and in November. It is a common practice for the poll authorities to visit states before announcing the election schedule. The EC meets representatives of political parties and top police administrative and state poll officials while reviewing the election readiness. India has reported a sharp decline in violent crimes under the Modi government. According to the National Crime Records Bureau, cases of murder, rape, dowry deaths and riots have significantly fallen since 2014. Since 2014, dowry deaths have fallen steadily. By 2023, the number of such cases stood at 6,156, which is a 27% reduction as compared to 2014. This marks one of the sharpest decline among all violent crimes tracked. New criminal laws have introduced tougher provision, strict timelines for investigation and trial, and consolidated offences against women and children into a dedicated section with 37 provisions. Operation Sindoor forced Pakistan to plead for termination of war. That was declared by the Indian Air Force Chief at a press conference in New Delhi on Friday. Air Chief Marshal AP Singh confirmed that Pakistan lost at least 4 to 5 fighter jets in a counter-terror attack by India. Indian Air Force celebrates its 93rd Foundation Day on October 8th. Vishal Baristo gets us more.
From the Red Quarters, ladies and gentlemen.
Indian Air Force Chief Air Chief Marshal AP Singh lauded Operation Sindoor, stating it was a conflict that achieved its objectives with speed and precision and brought Pakistan to its knees. He elaborated that 4 to 5 Pakistani fighter jets were struck down along with one long-range strike on an airborne warning and control system, radars at least 4 places, command and control centers at 2 places, and runways damaged at 2 places. Along with this, 3 hangars and 1 surface-to-air missile system were also destroyed.
These are strikes. There have been radars at least 4 places, command and control centers at 2 places, runway, of course, damaged at 2 places. Then 3 of their hangars in 3 different stations have been damaged. And in that hangar as well as on tarmac, we have signs of one C-130 class of aircraft, one AEW&C class of aircraft, and at least 4 to 5 fighter aircraft, most likely F-16, because that base happened to be F-16, which would have been under maintenance that time. Along with that, one SAM system, which has been destroyed. And so these are the strikes that, the destruction that has taken place on ground by our strikes.
He confirmed that India's newly inducted long-range surface-to-air missiles were a crucial factor, achieving a kill at a distance of over 300 kilometers inside Pakistani territory. He rejected Pakistan's claims of shooting down Indian jets as Manohar Kahaniya or fanciful tales. The Air Force Chief stressed the urgent need to bolster fighter jet fleet, indicating that acquisition options like French Rafale or Russia's Sukhoi 57 will be considered through a strict process, with a preference for models offering the best Make in India possibilities.
I just want to say is that we have to weigh all the options, and we in Defense Ministry and in Indian Air Force, we have a very set process of induction of any weapon system, and that process will be followed. So what comes will depend on what meets the requirement and what is the best for us.
The Air Force Chief highlighted the tri-services synergy during the operation, with all 3 services working together. Speaking on future readiness and self-reliance, The Air Chief Marshal underlined that Indian Air Force has drawn up a roadmap 2047 to enhance combat capabilities.
Infallible, impervious, and precise. With this motto, the Indian Air Force has a clear message for all the enemies of the country that our fighter jets and all our striking force are ready to strike anywhere, anytime. With cameraman Anil Thakur in Delhi, this is Vishal Baristo for DD India.
On to sports now. India ended day 2 of the opening test against West Indies in a commanding position at Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad on Friday. India reached 448 for 5 at stumps, stretching their lead to 286 runs after centuries from KL Rahul, Dhruv Jurel and Ravindra Jadeja. Jadeja and Washington Sundar remained unbeaten till the end of play after both Jurel and Rahul hit centuries. With 3 centurions and a massive lead, India are in total control. West Indies, depleted and are struggling to face a huge challenge on a difficult surface, leaving India strong favourites to steal a 1-0 series advantage in what has been a dominant display by the hosts. England stunned South Africa in the ongoing Women's World Cup with a dominating 10-wicket win on Friday at the Prasar Cricket Stadium in Guwahati. England's spirited bowling attack bundled out South Africa for a paltry score of 69. World Cup debutant Lindsay Smith was standout with the ball, returning with figures of 3 for 7. England's Tammy Beaumont and Amy Jones adopted a calm approach while chasing a trivial 70-run target. Beaumont and Jones chased down the target in just 14.1 overs and returned with unbeaten with scores of 21 and 40 respectively. Updates now from the ongoing World Para Athletics Championship in New Delhi. India's Nishad Kumar won his maiden gold medal at the World Championship in men's high jump T47 on Friday. En route on his way to the gold, Nishad set a new Asian record. Nishad cleared the bar set at 2.14 meters in his first attempt, bettering his own mark of 2.09 meters set at the previous edition in Paris in 2023. Simran grabbed a historic gold medal in women's 100 meters T12 with new personal best of 11.95 seconds. Sprinter Preeti Pal bagged a bronze in women's 200 meters T35, clocking a season's best timing of 30.03 seconds. And in golf, Kapil Kumar clinched his first professional win at the Indian Golf Premier League Invitational in Pune after a thrilling battle with young Kartik Singh. Tied at 12 under after regulation play, Kapil secured victory on the second playoff hole with a superb lob wedge shot to under 2 feet. Kartik missed his birdie chance after landing in the rough. Kapil took home rupees 22.5 lakhs while Kartik earned rupees 15 lakhs. Sachin Basoya finished third at 11 under, narrowly missing the playoff. Hitashi Bakshi shot the day's best round and finished tied 7th, the top woman in the field. The event was full of drama with frequent lead changes and strong performances throughout the final day. And today the world observes World Animal Welfare Day. The day is celebrated annually on October 4th to raise awareness for animal welfare and to unite people in promoting better treatment and protection for animals globally. DD India's Taposh Bhattacharya has more.
On October 4th, the world unites to mark World Animal Welfare Day. This year's theme, Save Animals, Save the Planet, is more than a message. It's a mission. Every animal protected, every habitat preserved brings us closer to a healthier, more balanced Earth. Protecting animals isn't just compassion, it's climate action. It's preserving biodiversity. It's safeguarding the future. Across the globe, people are taking small but powerful steps. Rescuing stray pets, supporting shelters, conserving endangered species, cleaning rivers, beaches and forests. Speaking up for those without a voice. Together, these acts ripple outward, restoring balance, healing ecosystems and giving hope. This World Animal Welfare Day, let's stand for life in all its forms, furry, feathered and scaled. Save animals, save the planet. Taposh Bhattacharya's report for DD India.
And that's all in this edition of DD India Live. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS. Scan the QR code on the screen and download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.